Mastering the art of scheduling with your design team. In this video, I'm going to give you a framework that you can use to really help your design team stay on track so everybody understands their commitments and so you can get some certainty around your deadlines. So I'm going to talk to you about the last planner system, how Scrum applies, and how you can approach this overall effort in a successful manner. So stay with us. Okay, so this pretty cool deal. In design, we use the TAC production system. We use Last Planner by itself. We use a mixture of the two, and sometimes we even resort to simply using Scrum, which I'll talk about in this video as well. But the bottom line is we've got to have enough flexibility for the design team, but also make sure everyone has a visual schedule or production plan so everyone knows what they're committed to. So it's pretty cool. So let me just go ahead and communicate a couple of things as a base, and then we'll get right into the exact method. So we've talked about in previous videos how your overall production plan on the construction project should be the start. Each one of these sequences in a time by location format or a tacked format will have individual tacked wagons. Those tacked wagons will have work packages. Work packages are the individual packages of work that the trades will install on a daily basis in one-day time durations that should be prepared, pre-kitted, and ready to go when the trade partners show up. So we don't design and then figure out how to build the design. We figure out our production plan and our rhythm and what our work packages are, and then we work back and design to it. So that's key. So what I want you to visualize is that if this is your construction flow, so I'll just go ahead and write over here construction with C-O-N. You have a deliver, which I'll mark as D, fabricate, which I'll mark as F, a buyout duration where you buy out the trade partners, and then you have design. So the rhythm of the project is really set here. So we begin with the end in mind. So if here's the milestone that the project is attempting to hit, we'll map that out and then work it back. That's what provides the milestone for design. This is where the target should be. Now, you'll have buffers at the end of this. You'll have a bit of buffers in your supply chain, and you obviously will have buffers in the design. So I'm not saying that it's super dependent, and I'm not saying you have a critical path. You definitely have a path of critical flow, but you will definitely have buffers. The bottom line is that if you have let's say that this was interiors, and then this was the exterior, right? And it doesn't work exactly like this, but hypothetically, you have your construction duration, right? Your delivery, your fabrication, your buyout, and let's say your design over here, right? Okay, so let's say that this milestone is a bit different. So I want you to know that there's a multi-dimensional view of this. Your milestone for this work might be different than your milestone from a design perspective for your actual exteriors, or let's just say hypothetically some other phases. So when you actually go into schedule the design team, I want you to understand those nuances. So step number one would be to make sure that working from construction back, you know when you have to be complete, obviously with a buffer for each of those design phases. Now, when you have that, then you'll be able to go through and do what I call a milestone pull or a phase pull. That's where you take, hey, here's our current date. What are the different phases? Let's say we're using the traditional definitions. This is a schematic design. This is design development. This is when you're developing your construction documents, right? And you have to be done with this by that date. So understanding the intermediate milestones, when is schematic design going to be done, design development, construction documents, and then obviously when is the permitting milestone, which should be the end of your milestone plus your buffer. This is super crucial. So a milestone pull should give you the high level. Your designers will know generally how long each of these will take typically they're pretty good at that, and they'll typically know how long it will take to get the drawings through the permitting process at the city. So you must know, like I said, step one, construction back, when is my ultimate milestone? And then step two, you need to do your milestone pull with the designers to see what your intermediate milestones are. When you do that, that means that you'll have, for at least for the phase, for the phase of the project or the design package that you're designing to, you'll have your ultimate milestone, your buffer, the date when you need your permitting done by, the other milestones along the design phase, okay? So this gives you targets. The reason this is important is because we don't just want to target this end date over here, because typically work will fill the space and procrastination will take over. It will end up in a crash landing over here. So this gives us some targets. Let's say that this first milestone was your schematic design. This milestone taken over here allows us to do one of two things. We can either use the Scrum system or the last planner system to hit that milestone, or some permutation. You can even use the TAC production system, but you're working to this milestone only so you can focus. The key here is, whatever we do, we have to have a clear definition of what this means, and we need to make sure that the design team is committed to having it done, freaking done. So a lot of times design teams, and by the way, I love designers. You've already seen videos of that with me, but I love designers. But if they're not clear with what this means and they're not committed to being done, then this phase can eat into this one, and then the whole thing drifts. But as long as you're clear and you're committed to being done, then you'll have a milestone here. Now, what's cool about this is you can either do a pull plan, which is what I've seen mostly, okay? A pull plan of this entire phase. By the way, I love doing this. It's really cool to hear designers talk about, well, for me to do this, I need this, and this activity releases this one, but really it comes back to here. And looking at all of the nuances there is pretty fun. I would highly recommend doing this on Miro or some other virtual whiteboard, having all of the stickies per discipline pre-filled out on the actual whiteboard, and then putting it together in a manner where the project team can really be successful. So let's say that you did take this schematic design milestone, and now you have a pull plan, and you verified that the overall duration is accurate and that you also have a buffer at the end. Great. Now what you can do is you can filter out your look-ahead plans. That means you, working with the design team, or they can do it themselves, can look out 6 weeks and start planning for the work coming up and making work ready for these design activities. And the other thing is that they can create a weekly work plan. That means that everyone on the design team knows exactly who's working on what, inside what disciplines, inside what teams, what clusters, what scrum groups, however you have your team organized. You can see your look ahead, remove roadblocks, make work ready, and you can see your commitments for the next week and really stay on track. Now, if you're using the last planner system, what you'll want to do is not only look out ahead for roadblocks and remove them, because that's really how you get work done well, but you can also look within the week and see if you had any missed commitments, and then start to actually do a root cause analysis based on your percent plan complete. Meaning, if you missed a task, you can say, why? How can we prevent this in the future? So this is a really nice revolving system, and if you keep it dynamic enough, and if you can stay ahead of it, and if you can understand the interconnections in this iterative design, this non-linear process, and really make the designers feel listened to, this right here can really become a remarkable process. And as you're going, obviously you're tracking whether or not you still have buffers or how fast you're eating into the buffers. And if you ever get past or start projecting past your milestone, you can obviously recover. Okay, so that's one method. Now, if you were going to use the Scrum system, then you would have this milestone here. And what you would do generally, by the way, there are people like Felipe Engineer that you can reach out to for this that are like just amazing at this. But instead of putting it out on a pull plan, you can have your Scrum board where you have your backlog, your sprint backlog, in progress and done or complete, and literally make sure that all of the activities or stickies, whatever you want, or tags, whatever you call them, all of the design activities that need to be done, this could be for the whole phase or by discipline, are on your Scrum board, and move them in that direction every week as fast as you can up into the milestone. Now you're probably saying, Jay Money, how in the world can you take just a regular board with just a list of things to do and know if you're hitting your milestone? That's where your Burndown chart comes in. Each of these activities have points, okay? And it's based on the Fibonacci scale, and it represents the level of effort of each of those tags. And so in your Burndown chart, if you have the number of points and you have time over here in this direction, and you know how many weeks it's going to take till it's done, and you know how much level of effort you have here to do, you can create a Burndown chart, and then every week when you, oh my gosh, this is so good. I hope you like and subscribe to this video. When every week you move tags or activities over here to the right to say, these are the ones we're going to do this week, these are the ones in progress, and these are the ones that are done. Every week when you're done, you can say, okay, how many did we accomplish? Okay, we only accomplished a certain amount. Okay, not enough. Okay, next week we did better. Okay, this week we're back on track. Okay, now we're ahead of schedule. You can use this trend chart, this Burndown chart, to make sure that you're on track, because you know you're accomplishing a certain amount of points on a weekly basis and on target per your deadline. Now, you'll probably want to make sure that this Burndown chart has a bit of a buffer, and you are tracking that way just like you had it in the Last Planner system. But either way, you can do this with Last Planner or Scrum. Now, closing this out, if you do this with Scrum, then in the beginning of the week on Monday, you will do what's called sprint planning, where you figure out what tasks you want to do that week. Every day, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, every day you will have a huddle where you make sure that you're on track and you talk about needs. And then at the end of the week, typically on Friday, you will do a sprint review and a sprint retrospective to see how you did that week in moving these activities over into the done column. If you want more information about the Last Planner system, read the book, The Lean Builder. And if you want more information on Scrum, read Construction Scrum by Felipe Engineer. But the bottom line is, step number 1, know when your design phase milestones are. Step number 2, make sure that you do a milestone or a phase pull throughout with the designers. Step number 3, you will do a pull plan or a brainstorm on your backlog within that milestone. And then step number 4, you will constantly do look ahead planning, whether you're using Last Planner or Scrum, to stay on track. Step number 5, always track your progress and find out the root cause for why you might not be meeting your deliverables. And if you stay flexible and open and really considerate of the design team, you'll have an amazing experience. What I'm going to do is leave you with a series of Canva graphics that will show you how to do this. And we're going to put this in the book Elevating Construction First Planners, which comes out August 1st of 2024, and I really think you're going to love it. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We can help you, and I know you'll enjoy this. On we go.